ओके एडमिट।
अब ठीक है, आज
आप आपको मिला? हमारा तो चल रहा अभी। इस समय युगल चावला कोई है? होल्ड ऑन अ सेकेंड। कुसुम प्रसाद। नमस्ते सबको। हाँ हो तो क्या? हाँ प्रणाम।
हाँ नमस्कार जी, नमस्कार
सबको।
सबको प्रणाम।
नए वर्ष का मंगलमय। ये मैंने दूसरे इसको किया है।
जो व्हाट्सएप पे भेजा है ना जो कोड, वो नहीं काम कर रहा। दैट्स नॉट वर्किंग इन माय कंप्यूटर।
आपका काम कर रहा है ना अभी? अब तो काम कर रहा है।
नहीं, अब तो हमने फिर जो आपने जो लिंक भेजा ईमेल से,
हाँ,
आई यूज दैट लिंक देन टू कनेक्ट टू, बट द व्हाट्सएप द पासकोड इज नॉट वर्किंग।
ओह एक्चुअली
नहीं,
एग्जैक्टली वही मैंने कॉपी किया है।
नहीं मैंने भी व्हाट्सएप के उससे कनेक्ट किया है अभी, जो आपने भेजा था गीता।
हो गया ना
जी?
हाँ
ओके गुड।
ओके
मैंने भी कनेक्ट किया, इट्स वर्किंग।
ओके
हाँ नमस्कार नमस्कार।
नमस्ते नमस्ते।
आप जरा
कुछ पहने ठंड लगी।
I have to share the screen, so please.
जी प्लीज।
Yeah.
शेयर द स्क्रीन।
आप सब लोगों ने कोरोना वैक्सीन ले लिया?
अभी कहाँ
तो
मिल नहीं रहा।
बहुत पीछे हैं लाइन में। सभी को नए वर्ष का मंगलमय भाई। और हम बहुत ही आभारी हैं डॉक्टर शिव चतुर्वेदी जी के, कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं इस साल गीता सत्संग। ये हम लोग का 5वां है, ये 5th वन। और हम लोग इसको रिकॉर्ड भी कर रहे हैं, और इसको जब रिकॉर्डिंग होने के बाद इसको हम लोग यूट्यूब में ट्रांसफर करके शेयर करेंगे। वो एक है बालमुकुंद मिश्रा जी, वो इसको करते हैं।
आप मुझे देख पा रहे हैं और कंप्यूटर स्क्रीन देख पा रहे हैं?
जी।
वेरी नाइस। So should I start now?
हाँ करिए, स्टार्ट करिए।
Can you hear me nicely, loudly?
Yeah.
All right. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namo Namaha. Om Shri Ganeshaye Namo Namaha. Om Angirashaye Namo Namaha. Om Kapilaye Namo Namaha. Om Gargaye Namo Namaha. Om Vedavyasaye Namo Namaha. Om Dharmaye Namo Namaha. Om Radha Krishnabhyam Namo Namaha. Om Gitaye Namo Namaha. Samast Matra Shakti ko naman, and bow down to all the audience. Welcome back. My sincere thanks to Sanjay Pandey ji and family to help me to monitor and coordinate and inspire me to continue working on this program. We will invite all of you to participate. We'll do the what we call the 3 times the Om mantra, which is called the Udgit Pranayam. So please all together inhale as much as you can, then slowly exhale but Om mantra. Om.
No.
Third time.
Start. Another phone in my hand.
Krishnam Narayanam Vande Krishnam Vande Brajapriyam Krishnam Dvaipayanam Vande Krishnam Vande Prathasutam Krishnam Vande Prathasutam Krishnam Vande Prathasutam. Welcome all of you. First of all, I would like to offer my best wishes for the New Year Mangal Day. English New Year started January 1st arbitrarily. Our New Year started actually on January 14th, Makar Sankranti Day, which has a cosmological orientation where the sun is now moving in the Uttarayan, northward motion. It started moving on. So we are just offering our prayers to Sun God, Savita Dev, for all Mangal, Samagra Mangal, Sarvangin Mangal for all of us in the entire earth. With this, let us take the journey again together to those ancient glorious times 5,000 years ago, when something unique happened in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. There is a Nar, Arjun, there is a Narayan, Bhagavan Krishna. In the middle of the battlefield, this Bhagavad Gita was sung. It's a Gitam, beautiful, wonderful, eternal, universal. And listening to those voices, hearing those voices, understanding those voices of the ancient rishis, and Bhagavan Swayam is speaking to Arjun, his own incarnation as Prathasutam. We should all be in the excitement. We should all be in the yogic trance, able to hear and appreciate. And
can we request everybody to mute themselves?
This is a great journey we are taking. So everyone reminding that this past month has been the month of the celebration of different kinds. First day and the Christmas Day and New Year Day, all those kind of festivities were going on under Corona pandemic. So let's refresh our previous talk. This is the discourse number 5. So far, these are the key observations that we are going to dwell upon and then go further on. And this is the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is one of the longest chapter, about 72, 73, I think, the slokas. So far in the first chapter we talked about Vishad Yoga of Arjuna, which gave rise to two important consequences. One is Arjuna talked about he was very much in a deep state of anxiety and suffering and grief, what he called when he said, there is going to be dance of death in the battlefield. Second one is, what are the consequences of such dance of death? Is going to have a dangerous assault on demise of various specific dharmas of Dharmkshetra. कितने तरह की wide variety of dharmic principles at the stake if we go ahead and conduct this great battlefield. Today, I'm not going to dwell upon the battlefield itself, just or unjust. Someday, if you request me or if you like to listen to, then I can discuss more about the idea of the battlefield. And all the way going back to the Greek tradition, the ancient wars, all the way up to the Second World War. But this is a very unique, no other war in the world that I have come across, I know about, has been dealt with the universal, eternal, Guhitamam, most confidential, most hidden ideas about our own existence of humanity, existence of the cosmos, existence of the nature. So this is very unique situation that you encounter. And in this, so far, we have identified two existential entities, Deha, Sarira, or human body, which is ever changing with perpetual birth and death. And another important entity called Dehi or Sariri, which is a dweller in the body, which is eternal, immutable, does not take birth, does not take death. It's a Sakshi, ultimate witness, independent of the nature of the Prakriti that we see, or independent of the Sarira. That's where the first encounter what we call the absolute idea of the objectivity, which came into the force in the modern physical sciences. And so what is the true identity of ourselves and all the living entities? True identity is a yogic composition. Ours are yogic composition, Dehi plus Deha. These are the composite configuration that we are talking about. Everyone has its own unique characteristics, or called the attributes, or called the properties. And they have been somehow, through yogic combination, made up what we are. And that's the mysterious thing we are going to explore further. So what is the Deha or Dehi or Sharira? These are the characteristics or the attributes or the properties of the Sharira, biological Sharira. Okay, here we'll talk about it. We can go more deeply, but right now, since this is the first course of its kind, I will try to stay as simple as possible without losing the essence. And the body that we see is born, it grows, develops, reaches organized, coordinated, and limiting configuration. Body stays, remains youthful. Body gets old and diseased. The body decays and body meets its own death. This is not the religion of the body. If you talk about the religion of the body, we will be talking about nonsense. This is the swadharma of the biological sarira. And dharma is not a religion. We will talk about later on as we go along. And that's the greatest tragedy happened to the Hindu civilization as soon as we started translating dharma as a religion. And there are a lot of serious consequences which are not able to easily correct. Then, how about the sariri, which is indweller in the sarira? What is the swadharma? All kinds of attributes or properties of this one. Just opposite, fundamentally, mutually exclusive, antithetical to the swadharma of the sharir. शरीर और शरीरी इन दोनों का स्वरूप बिल्कुल अलग अलग है, बिल्कुल फंडामेंटली डिफरेंट है, एक दूसरे से एकदम अलग है. All pervading, indestructible, immutable, immeasurable, eternal, sakshi. That's the ultimate witness. No birth, no death, unmanifest, unthinkable, unchanging, primeval, neither slain nor is slain, indweller in all the living beings, uncleavable, cannot be burnt, cannot be wetted, cannot be dried, anandamaya, reincarnation into another body, etc. It will explore. We will explore more attributes as we go along. Right now, this is good enough for us. Please note, here we have used swadharma. And the highly important terms Atman or Purusha are not introduced yet. My intentions in the articulation is going to follow the trajectories as it unfolds in the Bhagavad Gita. I will hesitate to bring in the later concepts and ideas early on, whether they have not been introduced yet. And there are reasons for it. I don't want to go in the theological, philosophical depth at this moment in time. So these are the two opposite entities, and they are meeting together to make a human being or all the living entities. And this is the wonder. This is the most guhitamam, most confidential, most mysterious that you can come up with. Now, here I want to make some corrective measures, suggest some corrective measures, that there is no equivalent, if you want to use the term soul and spirit, in place of Dehi or Dehi, or in terms of Atman or Purusha. They are fundamentally different. Soul and spirit fundamentally different. In Hebrew, Ra. In Latin, anima, spiritus. In Greek, psyche and pneuma. In German, nous and Geist. In Old Testament, Nephes, which is more than 754 times. New Testament, soul, spirit, which is Greek psyche. In Quran, it's called Ruh. Lot of you hear the songs of Sufi saints. They simply talk about the Ruh, which is the wind and breath. Then we have contemporary ideas: good souls, beautiful souls, deep souls, large souls, wicked souls, wounded souls, foolish souls, food for souls, physical therapy for souls. My dear friends, there is just some overlap between Quran and Bible in defining the Ruh or Ra. Both terms are definitely deal with breath and wind, refer to the creative breath of life, God's creative breath of life. And I can here quote, if you want to have more authentic quotation, one is John Dewey has given this one, very distinguished theologian and pastor. And soul, at death the soul ceases to think or feel and returns to the dust from which it is made. dies out. Female human beings do not have souls, medieval times. Animal, other sentient world, they do not have souls. So my conclusion is here, breath of life or psychic faculty has nothing to do with the Dehi or Atman or Purusha. So if we are using incorrectly, then there are a lot of consequences for such incorrect understanding. The soul and spirit and all those terms that I have used here, they belong to Sharir, Deh, not to Shariri, not to Dehi, in our terms. With this background, let's move forward. Krishna is giving these lessons to Arjuna. This is 231. Swadharmapi chavekshe nabikampitumarahasi dharmadhi yuddhachayonyat kshatriyasna vidyate. Moreover, having regard to your own dharma, swadharma, you must not falter. There is no higher good for Kshatriya than to fight according with the dharma. Fight according to dharma, swadharma, Kshatriya dharma. Not any other dharma, Kshatriya dharma. We will, as we go along, we will keep defining, but right now here, Kshatriya dharma. Fight according to your Kshatriya dharma. Not with arbitrariness, not with any ifs or buts, but upholding the Kshatriya dharma you are supposed to uphold. Yadakshaya chopapannam swargadwaram apavratam sukhina kshatriya parthe labhante yuddhamidasam. Bahava, bahut sundar, ati sundar. Very beautiful, wonderful. Happy are the Kshatriyas, O Parth, for whom such a war comes its own accord as an open door to heaven. Heaven is a question mark. Swarga is different than the heaven. I will not explain at this moment in time, so I will keep the term Swarga. When it comes its own accord, these are the beautiful, beautiful language, wonderful language. When it has come to you, the war has come to you. You did not go and fight the war to impose your own dharma to anybody else. You are going to protect your own dharma and dharma of all those who are dharmic in nature. Because the war has come to you, you have been forced to fight such a war. That's the importance. You are not going to go out the world. And that's why if you look at the history, real history, not the fake history or not the what you call the fabricated history by some of the leftist so-called historians, to me are just, they are insignificant for me. They have not given us any ideas, any understanding, any integration of the ancient tradition. So I will call them just, insignificant for me. And so this is what we have not gone to fight wars to impose without provocation, without being forced upon us, to impose not our whims, but the dharma. We never did that and conquered another world, another land, and subjugated them. So this is what means comes on its own accord. Atchetumam dharmam sangramam na karishyasi tata swadharmam kirtim chahitva papam vasasi. But if you will not engage in the righteous battle, dharma sangram, then having forsaken your own particular dharma as well as glory, you will incur pap, which are not the sins, but pap has a different definition, understanding, attributes, properties. So this is what, if you do not do that, and you forsaken, if you do not follow your own dharma, you do not uphold on your dharma, then pap will incur. These are the consequences. Other consequences. And these consequences are akirtim chapi bhutani katyaschanti te vyam sambhavitasya cha kirtim arnadatirichyate. Besides, men will recount your unalterable ill fame, akirti. And ill fame, akirti, is worse than death. As all of you can witness this situation. Akirti, the shame, public shame of doing adharma. With this context, notice please, in today's world of Kali Yuga and world of dominant adharma, many elites, celebrities, politicians, etc., they do not have a shame. They can do any unethical, immoral to the highest degree, heinous crimes they can commit. They do not have, they just go on the phone or go on the TV, in front of TV, and they will cry for a few minutes. Whether infidelity of highest degree, you can see among the presidents and governors and elite worlds, politicians, a lot of celebrities, oh my goodness, name them. They have no shame. They have no self-control. They do not follow the sattvic dharma. Bhayadrana duparatam manchate tvam maharatha esam chatum bahumato bhuta yasasi laghavam. Great warriors will think you withdrew from battle out of fear, which is perfect. This is a very, very wonderful point. The warriors will say, no, there was no conflict of dharma. It is simply the Arjuna and Pandavas were fearful of battle. And fearful of the dharma yuddha is the highest degree of demeaning characteristics of a Kshatriya. They will demean you, they will curse you, they may reject you, they may humiliate you. So, avach badans bahun badishyanti tabahita nindantas samarthyam tato dukkutaram nukim. Your enemies will speak many unseemly words, scorning your courage. What will be more painful than that? Those are the different times when all these things were painful to the warriors or Kshatri dharma. Kshatri dharma को uphold करने वालों के लिए धर्म से भाग लेना, धर्म युद्ध से भाग लेना, धर्म से भाग लेना, इससे ज्यादा ह्यूमिलिएटिंग और पेनफुल और कुछ नहीं था. Those were the times. Nowadays, things have changed. As you can see, I just talked about a few minutes ago. So please, so there are the personal consequences and there are social consequences. These are the social consequences. How you will be treated by your society of Kshatriyas. And how internally you are going to be facing the adversity with devoid, not be able to achieve the Swarga, and not and also incurring papa. It means narakubas hoga, hato va prapsayi swargam, jitva va bhokshase mahim. Tasmaduttishta kaunteya yuddhaya kritinischaya. Either slain you will get swarga, or be victorious you will enjoy the earth. Therefore, arise, O son of Kunti, resolve to fight. This is the instruction. 237 has to be inculcated in the modern day of Arjuna Kshatriyas. Rise, O son of Kunti, rise. Rise up to this Kshatriya Dharma. If you want to, this has a national, international echoes. This dictum, arise. If be in audience, if we do not arise to support the Kshatriya Dharma by manasa vacha karmana, by tanuman dhan, we are part of this downfall going to happen to our motherland, Bharat. Is going to happen right here, my another motherland, America. Sukh dukhe same kritva labha labhu jaya jayu tato yadbhaye jwase nevam papam vasasi. Oh, these two wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. It says here 238, it is called the Samatya Yoga. How do you fight the enemies? How to fight the enemies who have lined up against the Dharma? They are in the field of Adharma. They want to destroy the civilizations. They want to destroy the country. They want to destroy the humanity. They want to destroy the nature. They want to destroy the family life. They want to destroy all dharmas, even individual dharma has to be destroyed. How do you fight against them? Treating pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and defeat, all alike. Become ready for battle. Thus you will not incur papa, sin. If you fight with the Samatya Yoga without caring about, without thinking about pleasure and pain, gain or loss, whether I will be victorious or I will be defeated, no, you have to be indifferent. Use your total force of total personality, total hidden forces. Use those forces to fight the war, to fight against the enemies without even deviating through these kind of muddled, confusing thinking, whether I will win or I will lose, whether I will gain or I will get heavens or this or that, papa, punya. All this has to be left behind. And this is eventually will be called later on as Samatya Yoga. So my dear listeners, my dear friends, my Srotagar, bhaiyo, bheno, my brothers and sisters, and my uncles and aunts, all of you, this is what the message to all of us. And this message is temporarily concludes here. Isa te vita sankhe buddhir yoge tumam srunu buddhya yakto yaya parthe karma bandham prayasasi. Oh, what are the consequences If you fight the war, whether you win or lose, does not matter. The consequences are, listen, the preceding wisdom declared to is the wisdom of Sankhya. Sankhya Yoga. Oh, ho, 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 ho. The first time the Sankhya is used. But listen to the following wisdom of yoga, O Parth. You will leave behind the bondage of karma. कर्म का बंधन समाप्त हो जाएगा जब हम जो है आगे बढ़ेंगे, योग में, कर्म योग में जाएंगे. तो जो नेक्स्ट लेसन इज गोइंग टू बी following 239, starting from 240, will address the karma yoga. Here up to Sankhya, not even Sankhya yoga yet. This is the preview, what is coming. So, with this in mind, what lessons, since the time is coming up, so let me conclude this before we open the floor for question answers. What so far we have learned and how does it relate to my lifestyle? Lessons need to be learned. And please, I bow down to all of you with my folded hands. सबको चरण बंधन करते हुए मैं बार बार प्रार्थना कर रहा हूं. In conversation, communication, use the term Atman, not the soul or the spirit. Do not use it. That's the beginning of what you call the sincerity and commitment to Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, keep listening Bhagavad Gita. There are a lot of talks on Bhagavad Gita, wonderful, beautiful discourses on Bhagavad Gita. Unless we do commitment to our own personality, it is not going to go anywhere. Atman exists in all beings, including animal, birds, insect, microorganic world. All conscious objects have Atman. This is a unified view, universal view, which does not exist in any of the other traditions of the world. I accept the challenge. I presented papers. I presented talks at international conferences. There is no equivalent idea found in any of the traditions. Rebirth is the fact because Atman and Sariri are together. Rebirth takes place of the Sarir, with Sariri. It is not an idea, it is a fact. We will talk about more as we go along. Perpetual birth-death events are only of Deha, only of the human bodies, material bodies, biological bodies, meets birth and death perpetual. That's the dharma. It is not the dharma of Atman at all. Use appropriate term like dharma kshetra or field of dharma, not the religion. We will go, as we go along, we will define those more precisely. So it will become very, very useful for our own enlightening transformation. All these distinctions will be subject matter of precise understanding as we progress in our learning through the Gita. Lessons for practical living. What do I learn from all this? First of all, on individual level, we had to do swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means learning yourself what you are. Swadharma. Swadhyaya. You do your own, you examine your own self by yourself for yourself, what you are. And today we learned, so far we have learned, yes, we are Atman covered by Sarira, human body. All that goes on is in the Sarira, in the human body. All trial and tribulations, or anxieties, or fears, all coronaviruses, all kinds of diseases, all kinds of pains and suffering, they go only within the sharira, within the body. So as soon as you encounter morning to evening, think about it. When you are eating, practically, that's what I'm asking you. When are you started eating, make sure you think eating and say, okay, this is the food for the sharira. I am eating this food for the sharira, for the body. But I am not the body. I am Atman, covered with my body. So I have a sharira, but I am Atman. Think about that. Eventually, this cognitive understanding will help you to realize eventually the state of Samatya Yoga. Also, it gives you whoever you see on the road, virus, even if you look at the virus, coronavirus, it is also, my goodness, has Atman and the Anatman or the Sarira. Oh my goodness. All is going on. If you see a squirrel on the street, if you see any beggars, homeless people on the street, they have also Atman, they have also Sarira. The difference are, Sariras are different. And we will talk about as we go along how different they are. To what degree they're different, what kind they are different. So that way we can have a what you call the unified understanding. People are talking about cosmic, I don't know what you're talking about, cosmic consciousness. A lot of other traditions have started talking about borrowing from our tradition, appropriating, and then changing the language. Reality is here, Atman is universal, eternal, and Sarira are also there, all the biological bodies, no matter how single cell or not single cell, or no matter what they are the Sarira. They go to the same properties in different ways. On the family level, family dharmas, similarly, you will encounter your family, your elderly parents, you encounter brother, sister, extended relations, your own children, putra, putri, son and daughter. How do you see them? You again see them, yes, we have a commonality. We have so much common in my families, extended families, because they have Atman and they have a Sarira. The same Atman I have, same Atman as everyone. Sariras are different, but their Sariras, we have contributed. Half of the chromosome, male and female, have contributed together to make this new body, which you call daughter or son or my parents. And their nature, human nature of the body, how it manifests, depends on so many factors, so many variables, including they depend on not only what they eat, how they eat, depends not only on the parent, the great grandparents. That new research has revealed what today's children eating, their great grandfathers have been eating the same kind of food. Even that kind of a transfer to this body can take place. So how we see them? We do not possess them. We do not control them as the masters. No, we are part and parcel of them. They are part and parcel of us. We are the custodians. We guide them, we help them, we support them, we give them protection, we give them all, but let them develop their own independent, wonderful, beautiful personality. If they want to become Arjun, let them become Arjun. If they want to become Yudhishthira, let become Yudhishthira. If they want to become Duryodhan, Lord, don't let them become Duryodhan. Because you have to provide what you call the another aspect, the family environment it creates. At social level, similarly, how do we deal with the society? I have seen many organizations collapse. Many organizations are really ridden by what you call the ahankar, false ahankar. Many temples do not work. Many organizations do not work for a long time because of the people who run those, they have a lot of ahankar. We will define ahankar as we go along. They think their ahankar manifests, oh, this organization, this entity, I am the master, I'm the controller, it is mine. As soon as you start saying that, as soon as you start thinking that and acting accordingly, the organization is going to go to erosion and death, including this seminar that we are talking about. Some of you may leave the way I talk. I apologize. That's why I keep apologizing to all of you. As soon as I have a ahankar of any kind and reflects my terminology in my words, in my language, in my actions, please watch me. Give me a hard time. Tell me. Because then I cannot continue. I cannot continue. I had to reform myself, and I'm doing continuously, upgrading myself, reforming myself, transforming because of your blessings. You are so wonderful. Listening to this guy, which is a insignificant fly. These words are coming. I'm repeating the words from the master of the universe, the greatest guru of the universe, Bhagavan Krishna. And similarly, at national dharmas, we have to worry about Rashtriya Dharma. International dharmas, we have to worry about. We have to worry about the nature, Prakriti. Without Prakriti, our Sharira will not exist. Our existence is in danger. On international level, so many conflicts are created unnecessarily, uselessly, by few individuals upholding the supreme powers. Just like Dhritarashtra was upholding supreme power. If Dhritarashtra could have been a real Kshatriya and following the Kshatriya Dharma, this war could not have happened. So we have to do our Dharma and understand Dharma at each and every level. And you will see the conflict, internal conflict within you, internal, what you call the paradigm shifts you will see. You will see ideas shifting from here to there. So my dear friend, this is what we have to learn, the practical living, tan man dhan, आचार विचार. जब मित्रों से बात करें, परिवारों से बात करें, humble होके बात करें. Not like that, oh, oh my dear, yes, I have such a big house. Do you know I have such a big house? Do you know I have such an expensive car? Do you know my son and daughter have gone to Ivy League institutions? So I've been puffed up. If this is what your language is, this is your conviction is, this is your mental makeup, this is the adharma. It means you are not following the basic dictums and ideas of the Bhagavad Gita. नमन करो, सबको प्रणाम करें, हम सबको प्रणाम करें, सबको नम्रता से बात करें. ये बात करें, नम्रता से बात करें, humble होके बात करें. Not out of ahankar. Then we are learning. Then we are learning this, learning the wonderful lessons through this journey. Otherwise, this journey cannot be a tirth yatra. it can be only a jail yatra. It means we are simply wasting our time, not learning anything, and not going to transformative, enlightened experience within each of us. This is what we had to commit ourselves. अर्जुन उत्तिष्ठ अर्जुन फाइट. हम सभी से प्रार्थना करते हैं, उत्तिष्ठ, उठ बैठो और अपने अंदर भरे हुए कूड़ा करकट को, बीमारी को बाहर निकाल फेंको. ये हम तभी भगवत गीता का सार है. तैयार हो जाओ. So, homework before next session. Please recite the following mantra just for 2 minutes every day. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Please get engaged in small karma yogic activity in your daily life. Please recall your personal experiences, a personal crisis, and then think about it. What we have learned so far from Bhagavad Gita, how we can resolve those crises for better. Let's have a celebration of life, joyful celebration of life. Because a lot of life is today's life, you know, I know, we don't have to keep repeating. It's a much stressful, full of anxiety, full of stress, full of conflicts, full of confusion, full of miseries, full of suffering of all kinds in our own families. Keep Gita and notebook, write down your questions. We will be taking some sessions for the question, exclusively for question as we go along. And now let's recite 3 times collectively together. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Please, I beg your pardon and give me your blessing, please. And I am asking for क्षमा. हम क्षमा प्रार्थी हैं, हमें आशीर्वाद दें. Please bless me, bless me, bless me. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. And now we are ready for
yeah. So we have some time for questions, answers.
अंकल नमस्ते और आप सभी लोग को मेरा प्रणाम. बहुत अच्छा आपका कथा थी, लेकिन मुझे एक जगह बहुत ज्यादा माने कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है कि जहाँ शरीर और शरीरी, देह और देही का आप विचार रख रहे हैं, तो उसमें आज भी मतलब इस बात को समझने में बहुत मुश्किल होता है कि भाई शरीर और शरीरा में क्या अंतर है. और दूसरा चीज ये है कि अगर शरीरा जो है, देही जो है नश्वर है, तो वो क्यों नहीं ज्यादा दिन तक शरीर में रुकती है उसका, या उसको कौन पता लगाता कितना दिन तक उसको उस शरीर में रहना है या उस शरीर से बाहर किस समय निकलना है. अभी जैसे कि उदाहरण के लिए, अभी जैसे कोविड टाइम में बहुत सारे लोगों का जो है हुआ है, पर उसमें शरीरी जो है कैसे डिसाइड किया कि हमको यहाँ से जाना है या दूसरे रूप में जाना है, या उसको कौन कंट्रोल करता है कि उसको कब तक रहना है, कब जाना है?
बहुत अद्भुत प्रश्न है. उसमें उत्तर इस तरह से संक्षेप में दे रहा हूं आपको. पहले तो ये अभी हमारा जो भगवत गीता में जब आगे चलेंगे तो इसको क्लैरिटी आएगी. अभी तो ये it is for the whole all the audience is little premature to answer completely. देह और देही, शरीर और शरीरी. देह और देही human body and Atman, if I use the word Atman at this time, Atman and the human body, they are fundamentally different characteristics, fundamentally different properties. Sharir jo hai, we have this is the crux of the problem. Krishna is not defining Sharir fully yet, or Shariri fully yet. Even if he has not used the word Atman. He has used the property in the first chapter, early second chapter, okay, what this Atman is, what is this Shariri is, which is indwelling in the human body. Okay, human body is so complex, so complicated, so multidimensional. In order to answer that question, I had to bring in complete description of the identity of human body. And that includes the complete Sankhya Yoga, Tantra Yoga, okay, and yogic experiences I have to bring in upfront before I can answer that question. At this moment, the death comes to the body, and you can have an earlier death or predetermined death, two kinds of what they call apat mrityu. Okay, not destined mrityu. Okay, these ideas come from the yogic traditions, especially the Tantra Yoga. There are so many wide variety of Tantra Yoga. We'll talk about it and talk about the Karma Siddhant. We have not even talked about the Karma Siddhant. Karma, previous lives, even we have not talked about the incarnation rebirth. Previous life, this body carries, actually, if I give you the short answer, there are three kinds of bodies. There are another classifications, three kinds of bodies, what we call the Sthul Sharir, Sushma Sharir, or Ling Sharir. Ling Sharir is the body which contains traces of all the karmas of the past lives. And those karmas wrapped around the anti-Atman, that body wrapped around the Atman, which is the body itself is not visible, it cannot be approached, it cannot be seen. It is only through yogic sadhana can be seen. It goes out to take another birth. And all the traces of the past karma, including this life, are contained within this micro body. That's what happens. That decides. But then in other terms comes up what we call the Adi Bhautik Vipattiyan. जब होती है विपत्ति की बात आती है, जब भूचाल आ जाए अचानक, है ना, जो है सुनामी, there is a tsunami. All these natural forces also participate in deciding the death and birth and rebirth of individuals and societies and civilizations. So that the bigger interactive field as you go out to decide about it. For coronavirus, for example, this invades the body, sarira, not sariri. It does not do sariri, sarira. And this also can cause death or get permanent suffering. Okay, and this is the field of Prakriti. When we come to the Prakriti, then we will define more about Prakriti itself contains, in fact, this is wonderful phenomena. If you go to Srimad Bhagavatam, it says very clearly, Sahiyonija, Mrityu and birth are together at the time of conception. They are born together. Mrityu and birth are together at the time of conception. And which has been proven now. If you look at those who are working in the scientific field, biological field, and looking at the why death, the mechanism of dying, they come up with, yes, they come to they are very much, as soon as the cell division start taking place, the death is there within that cell. This death can come earlier if the invasion from the external bodies. That's the concept of the what you call the medical sciences. That's the concept of the our Ayurveda. So the death can be earlier, delayed, and also can be accelerated. Through yogic process, death can be delayed. And death of the body, or death can be shortened by so many other debilitating factors. Thank you.
Namaste.
Any other question?
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Some people say Atman is pure consciousness. Does Atman has a entity which has a weight and form, or it is just a consciousness, or it is some item which has specific mass or form or shape?
Yeah, this is a very, nowadays it has become very prevalent, because as soon as we started translating into consciousness, and there's another term called unconsciousness in the psychoanalysis. It's starting from Freud and early on, so I'm Freud, Jung, and many of the psychologists in the Western tradition, conscious and unconscious. Actually, when we talk about the Vikar, we will talk about the Chetana. When we talk about another classification of the human body, we will talk about 4 things, which is called Antahakaran. Totality is called Antahakaran of human body, which is Chit, Ahankar, Buddhi, Manas. Four entities come into together. Yes, Chetana, it means we call the pure consciousness. But this is the one aspect of the Atman. Okay, it does not define. That's why if you look at the very, very important, if you ask those people who say, what do you mean by pure consciousness? What do you mean by pure consciousness? Consciousness, it remains undefined. Why it remains undefined? Because the other attributes that I listed down over here, they are not included in their discourse. In the narrative, they are not included. If they are not included, consciousness alone cannot define the entity Atman. Okay. Now the another question I will further on this one, I will ask the question to all of you, is that people can ask this question. Oh my goodness, yes. When somebody kill you, put a missile on you, or bombs are exploded, what happens to Atman? Answer is simple. It cannot be killed. No matter what kind of weapons you use, it cannot be killed. It cannot be wet. It cannot. Poison, suppose somebody takes the poison. You say, are you killing Atman? No. Atman cannot be poisoned. It cannot be killed, no matter what means you use. So that question then can be answered. Another question, very, very important question, which will come up later on. This is just the most wonderful question. Okay, what happens that if you approach in the nano dimensions or pico dimensions, you go to the molecular level, atomic level, you go to the elementary particle levels. You see, 10 to power minus 28 or minus 38 dimension. You don't see Atman. This is the question. This is a valid question. They have not seen Atman, so I don't believe in Atman. If seeing is the believing, then of course, 100 years ago, they have not seen the atoms either, so they did not believe in the atoms. Believing, seeing and believing, and some entity, that's why it's called Abhyakt, unmanifest. No matter what instrument you use, it cannot be approached, it cannot be seen, it cannot be measured, aprameya, it cannot be measured. It is not a solid entity. It is not a liquid entity. It is not a gaseous entity. This is a very, 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 this is how we have to answer that question. It is there and it is not there. It is entangled. It's not entangled.
I have
इसका बंधन भी हो गया और अब ये प्रश्न उठता है बंधन और मोक्ष किसका है? ये प्रश्न जब हम उठाएंगे, आगे चलेंगे, जब बंधन और मोक्ष की बात करेंगे तब आपको बताएंगे। तो हम कुछ दूसरा कोई प्रश्न हमने कहा ले लें किसी से, तो जो है
one small another small question. You mentioned about ling sharir. You know, you mentioned about ling sharir.
ling sharir. Yeah, ling sharir.
Yeah, that is also mentioned in the Bhagavatam, ling sharir.
Ling sharir.
So ling sharir is attached to the Atman when the Atman leaves the body.
Yes. Ling sharir
so it goes with the Atman.
Ling sharir goes with Atman. Other the Sukshma sharir, which is a micro body, and the body that remains, no, it does not go with it. And the ling sharir remains object, unmanifest. You cannot catch it. You cannot measure it. You cannot, see it. Only through yogic siddhya, which is internal. Yeah. When you go to the atmic mode, it means you have what you call situated in the Atman. Then you can it becomes sakshi, witness. It becomes totally detached. Then you can see the ling sharir. Then you see the karmic residues. That's what. Only under that condition, otherwise, no.
Thank you very much for the answers.
Thank you, sir.
डॉक्टर साहब जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
प्रणाम, दंडवत प्रणाम।
इसी के एक्सटेंशन में जो डिस्कशन चल रहा है, बहुत ही सुंदर डिस्कशन हो रहा है आत्मन और शरीर का, देही का। तो इसमें एक क्वेश्चन और बहुत बार उठता रहता है। हम सब ये आपने अभी बताया कि जब आत्मन शरीर से निकल जाता है तो वही मृत्यु है और उस शरीर को छोड़ देता है, वो देहांतर होता रहता है। तो ये प्रश्न होता है कि हम ये भी बहुत बार शास्त्रों में पढ़ते रहते हैं कि आत्मन जो है हृदय के अंदर रहता है, हृदयस्थ के बराबर वो हृदय में रहता है। तो जब किसी का एक्सीडेंट हो जाता है तो वो मर जाता है, मतलब आत्मा उसकी निकल गई वहां से,
ठीक है,
लेकिन उसका हार्ट, हृदय को निकाल करके किसी दूसरे व्यक्ति में ट्रांसप्लांट कर दिया जाता है।
बिल्कुल ठीक बात।
तो वो आत्मन जो निकल चुकी है वो जाती है दूसरे के शरीर में, या उसकी अपनी आत्मन का क्या होता है, इसका क्या क्लैरिफिकेशन है जरा कुछ?
बहुत अद्भुत प्रश्न है। हम इसको लाना नहीं चाहते थे अभी, क्योंकि अभी हमने आगे भगवत गीता में नहीं आगे बढ़े हैं। बहुत अद्भुत प्रश्न है और उसमें इसको मैं इस तरह से आर्टिकुलेट करता हूं। ओके, जब ये कहा जाता है, एक बहुत सुंदर आगे आएगा भगवत गीता में जो है बात आएगी, बहुत सुंदर बात आएगी। तो अभी हम उसको इंडिकेट कर रहे हैं आपको कि दिस इज व्हाट यू कॉल I call in the modern terminology localization of the Atman in the heart. Heart आप निकाल लें, बाहर करें, चीरें फाड़ें, Atman is not affected. One concept. Atman is localized as long as the heart is beat, heart is live. It is localized in the heart. आपने इस हर्ट को दूसरी हर्ट में भेज दिया तो ये तो इसका तो डेथ हो गई। That Atman with the ling sharir has gone. Another concept comes in, just like there is a sun and there is a sun rays. This Atman, though localized in the heart, but it pervades the entire body. It pervades the entire body. So what happens when the heart goes to another body, the other body is still alive, not dead. Okay. Then what happens? That pervading, then again, based on the the pervasiveness of the Atman within the body, it again gets localized within the new heart. It's a localization process. Yeah, it's a localization process, something like this. And I don't want to bring in here, another related question at this time, because the time constraint is this. I have a phone here. Okay. And, audio, video signal coming in, coming out. What it does, audio, video signals are all around. The audio, video signals, even the walls are permeable to audio, video signal. Atman is permeable to entire Prakriti. Okay. Now, what happens here? When I tune in, all those signals becomes localized. That's what I mean by localization. It does not mean that I have captured all the signals, now signals are gone. Source signals are gone. No. अप्रमेयम, इसीलिए इसका अनंत है. ऐसा नहीं, इसको इसीलिए अव्यय है. अव्यय शब्द का प्रयोग हुआ है. It cannot be exhausted. No matter how many bodies, how many, what you increase the 5 billion people to 10 billion people, how many Atmans? Oh, no, it's inexhaustible situation. So it's a mysteriously what happens. If this phone is dead, it does not mean the audio video signals are dead. It simply means
मृत्यु की परिभाषा फिर क्या होगी? अगर आत्मा उसमें लोकलाइज्ड है, उसके अगर किसी भी व्यक्ति के शरीर में के हृदय में आत्मा लोकलाइज्ड हो जा रही है, तो फिर मृत्यु क्या है?
वही हम कह रहे हैं. मृत्यु अगर उसकी नहीं हुई है तो मृत्यु तो ये है
ना, मृत्यु हो गई तब उसके बाद
आत्मा लोकलाइज हो गई. अच्छा, और जब आत्मा लोकलाइज होती है उसके साथ जो है उसका शरीर भी जो है उसके साथ चल रहा है, उसको जो लिंग शरीर भी उसके साथ चल रहा है. बहुत से उदाहरण आते हैं ना.
तो आदमी मर गया ना, आदमी की मृत्यु हो चुकी है तो
उसकी तो वो चला गया, वो तो चला गया, उसका तो चला गया. उससे अब उसके हृदय से इस नए हृदय का कोई संबंध नहीं रहा. नई जगह पहुंच गया जो हृदय, वो दैट इज गॉन.
नहीं तो वो नई जगह जो पहुंचा वो कौन है?
वो नई जगह पर पहुंचा कौन है? उसकी आत्मा जो लोकलाइज थी हृदय में, उसके हृदय वो निकाल लिया गया, तो वो आत्मा उसके जो शरीर, जो लिंग शरीर के साथ निकल गई, चली गई. अब जो अगला जन्म जहां में लेना होगा वहां आगे जन्म लेगी. और ये नया शरीर जो है अभी, जिसमें जब नए शरीर में ये जो है इस्टेब्लिश हो जाएगा, तब इसके अंदर जो नए शरीर के अंदर हृदय निकाल दिया जाएगा, ये हृदय जाएगा तो नए शरीर में जो है कंकि उसका प्रवेश होगा.
लेकिन तो नए शरीर वाला जो हृदय था वो तो निकल गया, उसकी तो आत्मा हृदय के साथ बाहर निकाल दी गई ना.
So you are simply see the problem is if you look at if the one has been declared dead, okay, और वहां से आपने शरीर निकाल दिया, जो एक डिक्लेयर डेड हो गया, वहां से तो जीवात्मा चली गई. शरीर उसका जो है, जो प्रकृति है वो पल्पसेट करती रहेगी, वो एक्शन कुछ देर तक करती रहेगी. हृदय जो कर रहा है, उस हृदय को आपने निकाल लिया, प्रिजर्व किया, तो दिस इज ए बायोलॉजिकल एंटिटी. ठीक है ना. अब जो नया, जब जो दूसरी जगह ट्रांसप्लांटेशन होगा हृदय का, जिस बॉडी में, उसका भी शरीर से, बॉडी से निकाला जाएगा ना वो. लेकिन तभी तो होगा. ट्रांसप्लांटेशन कैसे होता है? ट्रांसप्लांटेशन पहले
उसका तो
स्टेप्स इन्वॉल्वड, बट द पर्सन रिमेन्स नॉट डेड. You cannot place one dead heart from one dead body to another dead body. The other person has a failed heart. That failed heart has to come out, but the person is still live, living. And that the new heart comes in here, then localization again takes place. A new localization takes place. Because उसके अंदर जो आत्मन थी अभी, वो उसके शरीर चूंकि जीवित था, इसलिए उसके अंदर जो है, उसकी जो है वो ज्योति जो है उसके अंदर, जिसे आप कह सकते हैं, उसके अंदर स्टिल जो उसका प्रसार था, उसका जो आउट जो है सभी शरीर में परवेजिंग था, वो उसको फिर लोकलाइजेशन करते हैं. That's what happened. अगर वो डेड हो गए तो फिर तो both are dead. So one who is receiving the new heart must be living, even if the heart is bad, must be living, must be alive.
तो उसको तो आर्टिफिशियल मीन से अलाइव रखा जाता है.
हाँ, yeah, it must be alive. That's what it is. डेड तभी वो तभी दूसरा डेड होगा, उसकी बायोलॉजिकल बॉडी अगर डेड हो गई, क्योंकि डेथ तो बायोलॉजिकल बॉडी को हो ना, तो फिर देन आत्मन विल नॉट एंटर इनटू दैट बॉडी. It must receive and talk about. Then the entering of Atman within the new heart does not make any sense.
So the heart is,
इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि आप जो है एक आत्मा को दूसरे शरीर में डाल रहे हैं.
Yes. एक आत्मा
को हम दूसरे शरीर में डाल रहे हैं.
ऐसा देखो हम बताएं आपको, अगर you go to the yogic tradition,
जी,
many yogis can enter into your personality. All the bodies, they can enter into you. What does it mean? How do you explain that? Actually, that's what happens. That's what happens. It is the Atman which decides of the person who is still living, but the heart is bad, heart is living. That personal Atman decides what is to be done. Okay, so when new heart comes in, okay, new heart comes in, he is also still on the deathbed, but he's not died. So the Atman is not a substance. That's why if it is substance, then you cannot explain it.
So the heart is a physical entity, right?
Heart is a physical entity.
Yeah, Atman is not.
No, but Atman localization takes place in the heart.
Okay.
Heart as a physical entity, that's when localization takes place.
So when it is transplanted,
just like you have a brain in the computer.
So when I'm trying to understand the question and the relevance here. It's very interesting actually.
Very interesting question.
Yeah. So the physically you were transplanting the heart from one person to other person.
Yeah.
Narayanji was saying that does this Atman also goes along with that physical entity of the heart from the previous person to the next person?
आत्मा तो वैसे ही निकल जाती है.
No.
Or it goes. It stays with the person and goes somewhere else. Only physical part, that heart, goes to the other person, and that person Atman stays with the new heart. Is it possible?
No. See, you and I cannot decide which Atman will take care of.
What I'm trying to understand.
That's what I'm.
Atman from person to person, it is all same, or it is like vary from person.
Atman is same, but the length is not the same.
transfer होती है.
The damaged heart. So the damaged heart, Atman in the damaged heart, will come out, and when the new heart comes in, it will put itself in the new physical heart.
That is correct. That is correct. Then, since the Atman of that person who is going to receive a new heart is already pervading the body is not dead. So it becomes localized.
Yes.
That's all. It's become localized.
I think
as long as the body is alive, or body is kept alive, this can happen.
Yeah, I think we should.
Localization takes place.
Yes.
But already the pervasion of the Atman is in the whole body.
Okay.
Yes.
तो अंकल एक क्वेश्चन हमने और आ गया इसमें कि मतलब जो पहली बॉडी है ऑलरेडी या तो वो डेड हो चुकी है तभी वो दूसरी बॉडी में हार्ट ट्रांसप्लांट हो रहा है. ऐसा क्या?
nothing to do with पहली बॉडी डेड हो चुकी कि नहीं. अगर वो डेड हो चुकी है तो उसकी आत्मन शरीर से चली जाएगी.
चली गई वो.
हाँ, चली जाएगी अगर वो डेड हो चुका है. अच्छा, उसका हार्ट डेड जो actually we do not know exactly the dead heart, how long does it take for Atman, when the Atman gets out of the dead heart, whether heart, I think heart is still, based on all the evidences, heart is still start pulsating, it still remains alive, though the person is dead.
Yes.
That's why, that's why the new directions are. Remember, जबकि आपकी ये सांस चलना फेफड़े बंद हो जाए तो you are considered dead. No longer. The new identification is of death is the brain signal. Okay. When you do not have breath, okay, lungs have stopped working, as well as the brain has stopped working for a certain period of time. Then you will be considered to be dead. Now, there is another issue. There's another issue I'm talking about. Atman can come back in the body, which is still pulsating.
Okay. I think
it has happened.
Lalanji has some question.
It has happened, yes.
No.
Hi Sanjay ji.
मेरा question. I have a question.
ठीक है.
Okay, please go ahead.
मुझे सिर्फ यही.
हेलो.
कुछ वो इंटरनेट का कनेक्शन है.
को अपन अगले उसमें रखें तो ठीक रहेगा, क्योंकि आत्मा, हार्ट और ट्रांसप्लांट हार्ट और कितनी देर क्या मतलब जो आत्मा कहाँ रहती है?
No, I don't know, and I don't think there is any clarification anywhere that how long it takes, where does it go, how does it go.
तो वही मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि इसके बारे में ज्ञान.
No, it is not given. I have not come across anything like this. What I'm answering the question is speculating that this can happen based on this idea, this can happen based on this idea, this can happen based on this idea, because it has been observed in near-death experience many times. Okay, that's a different thing that I will take up, later on. What happens in near-death experience? That's a different issue altogether. But actual timing, actual movement, ling sarir, all these things are not at all mentioned specifically through numbers or times. So I cannot answer those questions.
Yeah.
I'm speculating those answers based on my experiences working through the various, yogis. I know a lot of lives of the yogis I came across, and I will mention about later on in the next talk. Remind me when you talk about the rebirth phenomena or lokas phenomena. किस लोक में कितने लोक हैं, कहाँ किस लोक में, स्वर्ग क्या है हमने डिफाइन नहीं किया है, स्वर्ग क्या है, नर्क क्या है हमने डिफाइन नहीं किया. हम उसको आपको घटनाएं बताएंगे, उससे हम स्पेकुलेट करते हैं कि जो है ऐसा संभव है, ऐसा संभव है. सत्यनारायण जी,
let's have a final question.
ऐसा संभव, ऐसा संभव, ऐसा संभव है.
Sorry to interrupt.
मैं अपने प्रश्न नहीं पूछ रहा था. मैं तो प्रश्न के विषय में कुछ समय अपने पास नहीं है, तो इस बारे में जानने की कोशिश कर रहा था. मतलब मुझे खुद भी इस बारे में ज्ञान नहीं है.
एक और
धन्यवाद.
बहुत बड़ी बात एक और इंडिकेट में करता हूँ, 1 मिनट में जवाब दे दूंगा आपको. एक और बहुत बड़ी बात जो हार्ट में आत्मा रहती है, बड़ी अद्भुत बात है. देखिए, हम आपको बता रहे हैं कि कहाँ एबनॉर्मलिटी, कहाँ कंट्रडिक्शन क्रिएट होते हैं. महाभारत में एक कैरेक्टर आता है जिसको जो है भगवान ने जिसका सर काट दिया था, है ना, और सर को जो है कहीं रख दिया था, है ना, और सर जो है कहीं सारी चीजें देख रहा है, सुन रहा है और समझ रहा है. आई थिंक his heart is not there, his lower body is not there.
तो आत्मा का है.
Yeah, these are the very high mysterious cases when only the Krishna knows. He tells in Bhagavad Gita, only I know, nobody else can penetrate those kind of mysteries.
Okay, so we can have final question by Lalanji.
I think समय की शायद कमी है संजय जी.
ठीक है, फाइनल. अब वो टॉपिक चल रहा है तो उसको आप पूछ लीजिए, कोई बात नहीं. चलिए एक और लास्ट क्वेश्चन.
जस्ट जो अभी शिवे भैया बोल रहे थे ना, उसी में अगर अनुमति हो तो हम कुछ ऐड करना चाह रहे हैं.
श्योर.
ओके, सो जैसा कि मुझे मेरी समझ में जो भी है अपने गुरु के बताए हुए ज्ञान से, वो उन्होंने कुछ ऐसा बताया. जब मैंने सेम प्रश्न कभी उनसे पूछा, उनका कहना था कि इस गूढ़ रहस्य को समझने का सबसे आसान शायद वे ये है कि हम अपने आप को ये सोचें कि उन्होंने एक नदी का एग्जाम्पल दिया कि अगर हम एक नदी को देखें, जैसे गंगा जी के किनारे जाएं तो उसमें बहुत सारे वर्लपूल आपको दिखेंगे, चक्रव्यूह के जैसा चलते रहता है.
So it is one river within which there are so many different whirlpools of water. Apparently, it appears that they are all individual, but they are all occurring within the same body of water. So हम लोगों की जो individuality है, that is like those individual whirlpools within a body of water. Now, then the next thing he said, when we say Atma exists in the heart, actually उनका कहने का मतलब ये था कि हमारे शरीर के जो subtle layers हैं, जैसे प्राणमय शरीर या फिर मनोमय शरीर या आनंदमय शरीर, actually Atma being a non-material thing, उसका वास इस physical heart में नहीं है. Physical heart is just a point of localization, जो कि हमको ये समझने के लिए कि हमारे सूक्ष्म शरीर में आत्मा का वास किस स्थान पर है. तो शरीर में जहाँ पर हृदय है, हार्ट है, उस स्थान पर जो हमारा सूक्ष्म शरीर है, वहां पर आत्मा का वास. उनके कहने का तात्पर्य ये था. तो अगर हम अपने फिजिकल हार्ट को निकाल के दे भी दें, तो उससे आत्मा को कोई उसका लेना देना नहीं है, क्योंकि इट इज जस्ट अ फिजिकल थिंग व्हिच वेंट आउट. बट जो रियल आत्मा है वो तो सूक्ष्मतम चीज है, वो तो सूक्ष्म शरीर से या उससे भी परतर जो सूक्ष्मतम एस्पेक्ट है हमारे एग्जिस्टेंस का, वहां पर है. इसीलिए हार्ट ट्रांसप्लांट से मेरी आत्मा कहीं चली जाएगी, ऐसा उनका कहना था कि ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. जस्ट एक फिजिकल पार्ट निकला, which did not, it is just a location just for us to localize कहाँ पर शरीर की किस क्षेत्र में.
बिल्कुल ठीक बात, बहुत ठीक बात. यही इसीलिए मैंने लोकलाइजेशन शब्द का प्रयोग किया.
जी जी, कि
वो लोकलाइजेशन वहां होता है. अभी ये हृदय में कोई सब्सटेंस नहीं है, कोई ऐसी वो चीज नहीं है कि जो कहीं पर पार्ट होके जो है मिल जाए और हार्ट के साथ आए हो जाए. नहीं, इसे लोकलाइजेशन, सेंटरिंग ऑफ द आत्मन in one location, and also I'm sending out throughout the body.
Right.
It's effulgence.
Right.
Just like a sun is located somewhere, sending out. I will give you another knowledge sun analogy, and then spreading out all the rays everywhere.
Right. Right.
Okay. So similarly, the Atman, otherwise, it's not a substance.
Right.
People using very incorrectly spiritual substance. It's a meaningless.
Right.
There is nothing like a spiritual substance or physical substance. No, there is no substance. It is a very strange entity which gets localized. और इसीलिए जो आपने जो नदी का वो स्वरूप लिया है कि इसमें जो है कंचे भंवर सब बनते इंडिविजुअल, तो ये एग्जिस्टेंस जो है इंडिविजुअल लोकलाइज एग्जिस्टेंस किस फील्ड के अंदर है, किस क्षेत्र के अंदर है. ये फिर जो है ब्रह्म की बात, तब हम ब्रह्म की बात कर रहे हैं. तब ब्रह्म जो है स्वरूप जो है कंची हमारे सामने विविध होके जो है कंची हमें समझ में आने लगता, कॉग्निटिव उसका एनालॉजी बनने लगता.
और राइट, और एक्चुअली यही जो बात थी, यही बाद में फिर उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे वे से बताया कि प्राण प्रतिष्ठा का फिर रहस्य क्या है. सो प्राण प्रतिष्ठा तो किसी भी वस्तु में की जा सकती है एक्चुअली, और उन्होंने इसका रहस्य यही बताया कि आदमी जिसमें स्वयं में आत्मा है, जैसे हम में आत्मा है, आप में आत्मा है, अभी हम लोग जीवित इस शरीर में हैं, अगर हम उस महान आत्मा का, जिसको कि परम आत्मा बोलते हैं, उनका हम आह्वान करें, उसका फिर तंत्र में बहुत ही इलैबोरेट और स्पेसिफिक वे है, टेक्निक.
yes.
और उस विधि से फिर प्राण प्रतिष्ठा की जा सकती है. और मेरा मानना यह है कि जो लगभग 30 वर्षों से हम जो थोड़ा मोड़ा प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, धीरे धीरे अब हमको ये लग रहा है कि यस, इट इज ए रियली गूढ़ विज्ञान, और वो वही इसको बोल सकता है कि हाँ ऐसा है, जो स्वयं इसका अभ्यास कर रहा है.
बिल्कुल ठीक बात आपकी.
सर यहाँ पर मैं अगर बोलने
इसीलिए यहाँ भी कहा गया है, अभी आएगा आगे कि जो है वो ईश्वर हृदय में स्थित है, हृदयस्थ. ये हृदय, अगेन लोकलाइजेशन, अगेन इट्स ए कॉन्सेप्ट लोकलाइजेशन. तो ये कॉन्सेप्ट जो आपने प्राण किया, प्राण कहाँ से आ गया? अभी कभी आप जब सांख्य योग की बात करेंगे तब थोड़ा प्राण की बात करेंगे. कहाँ वेदों शुरू होता है. प्राण प्रतिष्ठा का स्वरूप जो आपने बताया वो उसी तरह इंगित करेंगे. और जो आपने बताया कि आत्मा, फिर बहुत अद्भुत बात है. ये हम लाना नहीं चाहते आज, क्योंकि बहुत समय हो रहा है, बहुत समय चला जाएगा. क्योंकि हाँ, how do you define things? इसकी ये property, how do you define until the proper, unless entity interact with something that we can measure or we can correlate to our experiences, how can you define? This you understand about? तो इसीलिए उपनिषदों में बड़ी अद्भुत बात कह दी गई है कि आत्मा आप कैसे पहचान, शरीर का फिर क्या अर्थ रहा, यहाँ पर फिर जो है इससे रिलेटेड बहुत क्वेश्चन आ जाते हैं, एनीवे हम उस पर नहीं जाएंगे, कि शरीर सिर्फ ये कर सकता है साधन बनके, वो द्वार खोल सकता है, उस द्वार के बाद आत्मा ही आत्मा का दर्शन कराएगी।
बिल्कुल सर, यहाँ पर अगर 2 मिनट,
सेल्फ रेफरेंशियल, इसको कहते हैं सेल्फ रेफरेंशियल। नो अदर एंटी कैन मेजर, नो अदर एंटी कैन अप्रोच, इट कैन ओनली लीड अप टू ए एंड पॉइंट बियॉन्ड विच आत्मन विल टेक केयर। ये इसीलिए कहते हैं आत्मानुभूति, आत्मा के द्वारा आत्मा की अनुभूति, शरीर के द्वारा आत्मा की अनुभूति नहीं, आत्मा के द्वारा आत्मा की अनुभूति। शरीर एक साधन बनके एक लिमिट तक पहुंचाता है, एक लिमिट तक पहुंचाता है, इसकी बाउंड्री है, इसकी लिमिट है। और हम जब योग की बात करेंगे तो आपको बताएं, जब आगे योग आएगा और बताएंगे कि हाउ इवन द various types of yogas, how can you really understand why there are different kind of yogas and what are their limitations? Yogis, I have looked at so many yogic tradition yogas, you know, the preachers, teacher, books and all, they don't talk about the limits. They don't talk about the limits. And I'm going to talk about the limits along there. Otherwise,
last question, Lakshmikant ji, please.
मैं छोटा सा एक
ठीक है, हाँ चलिए डॉक्टर साहब।
मेरा ये निवेदन है कि इस प्रश्न के, ये प्रश्न नहीं मतलब इस विषय में 5 मिनट या 7 मिनट अगली मीटिंग में अपन लोग बात कर सकें और उसका समय दें तो अच्छा रहेगा। क्योंकि एक प्रश्न ये है कि जैसे योगानंद परमहंस की अगर बायोग्राफी आप पढ़ें तो उसमें उनके जो गुरु थे महासाया, तो वो जो है उनके 2 शिष्यों को एक ही समय में 2 अलग अलग जगह दिखे, मतलब वो उनसे बात कर रहे थे, उन्होंने कहा नहीं वो तो हमारे साथ थे गुरुजी, उन्होंने कहा नहीं हमारे साथ। तो मेरा सिर्फ ये प्रश्न था कि जब इस तरह से 2 तरह से जब कोई आदमी प्रदर्शित करता है अपने को, तो उसकी ये जो अपन बात कर रहे हैं कि शरीर में, जो नए शरीर में हार्ट में मतलब एक तो निकल गई उसमें आत्मा और फिर दूसरी वहां पे रही, तो वो एक प्रश्न था मतलब।
बहुत बहुत अद्भुत है। और इसको जो है कंचे इन प्रश्नों को और भी जुड़े हुए प्रश्नों को जो है कंचे हम जो है कंचे आगे जैसे बढ़ते चलेंगे, जैसे विचार करते चलेंगे,
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
बस खाली मैं प्रश्न नहीं कर रहा था, मैं इतना सिर्फ इतना ही कहना चाहता, मैं जानता हूँ यहाँ पे जिन्होंने ये सवाल खड़ा किया, सत्यनारायण जी प्रभु ने, उनको दंडवत प्रणाम। उन्होंने सवाल इसीलिए किया, उसका जवाब उनको पता है, पर वो ये बहुत बढ़िया चर्चा करवाना चाहते थे। वो इस चर्चा करवा के ताकि इस अमृत मंथन हो, इस अमृत मंथन में सवाल सबके मन में आए, और उसके बाद बैठ के वो वहां पे बैठ के इस समय खामोश बैठे हुए, लेकिन मैं जानता हूँ ये इस प्रश्न का उन्होंने कई बार जवाब दे चुके होंगे।
ये इसकी बहुत सही बात बताया
निवेदन है,
आपकी बात बिल्कुल सही है।
एक बार निवेदन है कि उन्होंने हमारे जैसे बहुत सारे अज्ञों को ये इस सवाल का जवाब दिया है, और जवाब दिया है तो कैसे दिया है, ताकि इस टॉपिक को यहाँ पर क्लोज कर दिया है।
बहुत सुंदर, बहुत सुंदर। और प्रश्न का मूल जो है, अच्छे प्रश्न वही होते हैं जिनमें विचार मंथन हो। अच्छे प्रश्न वही होते हैं जिसमें विचार मंथन हो, और जब विचार मंथन होता है तो प्रश्नों का और स्वरूप उधर उभरता है, प्रश्न और सुंदर बन जाते हैं। पूरी भगवत गीता ही प्रश्नों पर ही आधारित है। अभी देखो आएगा कि आप एक बार सांख्य योग की बात कर रहे हैं, कभी कर्मयोग की बात कर रहे हैं, कभी इस योग की बात कर रहे हैं, तमाम कंट्रडिक्शन है। आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड, आई एम कंफ्यूज्ड, आई एम कंफ्यूज, सो आई एम ऑल्सो कंफ्यूज। तो इसलिए प्रश्नों का जो है ये जो है ये मंथन है, जो ये मंथन में ही जो है अमृत निकलता है। इस मंथन से ही अमृत निकलता है। इस मंथन से ही हमारे जो है जितने भी संशय हैं वो दूर होते हैं। इस मंथन से हम स्वयं अपने अंदर मंथन के लिए प्रेरित हो जाते हैं।
बहुत अच्छा रहा, बहुत अच्छा।
कंटिन्यू करेंगे नेक्स्ट मंथ इसको।
हाँ, और जहां हमने छोड़ा है 239 से आगे 240 पर अब जो है कर्म योग की बात करेंगे, क्योंकि ये करीब 72-73 इसमें श्लोक हैं, बहुत लंबा है। तो ये जो है धीरे धीरे इसमें बढ़ेंगे। और देखिए अब उनका उसमें आगे थोड़ा पढ़ लीजिएगा कि अब उन्होंने ट्विस्ट कर दिया। सांख्य योग करने के बाद, सांख्य की बात के छोटी सी बात थी सांख्य, अब उन्होंने जो है कर्म योग की बात करने लगे। भगवान ने कर्म योग वहां जो है सौंप दिया। तो अभी हमने सांख्य योग की परिभाषा आपको नहीं बताई है, अभी नहीं बताएंगे। सांख्य योग की परिभाषा तब बताएंगे जब सेकंड चैप्टर समाप्त हो जाएगा। अभी टू अर्ली, अदरवाइज देयर विल बी लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस एंड प्रीमेच्योर क्वेश्चन आई विल से फॉर मी, नॉट फॉर यू। फॉर मी द प्रीमेच्योर क्वेश्चन तो सांख्य योग जो समाप्त कर देंगे, फिर सांख्य योग कर्मयोग का जो है समन्वय जो है करते हुए थोड़ा उस पर मंथन करेंगे कि ये क्या अंतर है इनमें, क्या समता है और क्या विषमता है। तो इस बात पर जो है विचार करेंगे। तो सभी को फिर वंदन करता हुआ सभी से आज्ञा चाहता हूँ, सभी से वंदन करता हुआ,
सी यू नेक्स्ट टाइम। ओके, प्रणाम।